Well, ladies and gents, FM26 is finally here, and you know what that means. Sunday League to Champions League is back. I have been away for a while, and I just want to thank you all for all of your patience. I've had a very busy year and a half, and I've managed to sort everything out and make time so that I can come back and try YouTube again and start making videos again. I'm really looking forward to it. Let's see how we get on. This year, we're going to be kicking things off with a team that is quite closely based to where I am from. Based in Ashton-under-Lyne, Curzon Ashton. They play at the Tameside Stadium with a 4,000 capacity. They've got average training facilities, not particularly good youth facilities, it must be said. The owner status, he loves the club, so it's a very good core at Curzon Ashton, and they are currently at a semi-professional status with the most notable rivals being Ashton United. The financial status of the club is okay. Obviously, technically, with it being non-league, finances they're very important, but they're not as well informed as such as the likes of your Premier League clubs. So as we move through into this, we're going to take a look around at the club and some of the players and see exactly what we are going to be dealing with here. I have been playing the beta save as well, trying to get used to the game. It's a lot different to FM24, I must say. There are still sections of the game which I'm not quite used to just yet. So I'm getting there, but at the same time, it is going to be a bit of a learning curve for all involved. As we go into the manager profile from here, I've set myself basically the way I am as a person in general. I have no managerial experience. I've got no coaching badges. I played Sunday League for a little bit. You know, very, very simple terms. So as things go along, obviously, we will try and improve that. We'll try and get the coaching courses and such as we go along and see where we end up with the goal, of course, eventually being at one of the best clubs in the world and winning the Champions League. It's going to be a very long road, and I'm really looking forward to getting going with this one. So we've got everything set up here. My tendencies are in there as well, so we tend to develop the young players, play energetic football, make the most of set pieces. I inspire others and an acclaimed achiever, apparently, as well. The way you set everything up this time is a little bit different. Obviously, the management style, when you're setting up your attributes and your experience, that is what affects all of the attributes that are in here. Obviously, your biographical details are just the details about yourself, but they've changed things a little bit more into the background as well. So you've got your non-playing roles and your coaching badges there as well. And when you're going into it with the biography as well, there's again a few other changes in there. Same with the management style. When you go into this, you can actually pick your overall coaching attributes. So I've gone for a developer. I do like to try and develop younger talent if possible, not necessarily ones that start at the club, but I do try and make younger signings as the seasons go on. I like to have an energetic side, players that are going to really work hard. They're very determined characters with plenty of energy that can get around the pitch and cause trouble throughout the course of the 90 minutes. And I've gone for systems builder as well. So a little bit more possession-based style with being strong from set pieces. I do like in the previous games and everything like that, I do tend to go for the gegenpress systems. So when we're in possession, we are looking to maneuver the ball around as well as we can. And then when we're pushing forward, of course, when we're out of possession, we're putting the pressure on, we're pressing teams very regularly. So we need players that are going to have really good natural fitness as well, but at the same time have that technical ability to be able to come in together with that. And then in terms of the mental side of things, I haven't actually added, it says I've got two selected, but I can't remember exactly which ones I've got in here. For some reason, it doesn't actually show them, but we have got things in there. I think it's going to be, I'm guessing, looking at some of these mental attributes and everything like that, it's going to be surrounding an inspirational and driven personality. So it'll be interesting to see how we get on. And without further ado, let's get things underway. 33-year-old English manager Christopher Willerton is set to be named as Curzon's new boss in a move that many expect to see the club injected with a renewed energy, with a focus on possession-based football and a prioritisation on developing young players. An inspiration and accomplished figure in his field, apparently, Willerton will join the Nash in a move that will intrigue many within the game, and insiders are confident that his traits are well suited to building the sort of culture expected throughout the club. Without a playing career of note to fall back on, this job will be his first step into the non-playing side of the game. So we'll just push things through a touch and see exactly what we are going to be set up with. We'll get things ready and raring to go with the save file, and then we will take a look around the club. Like I say, I'm really looking forward to getting into this. It has been a while, I must admit, but fingers crossed, we can get off to a very interesting start here. There's already friendlies and everything set up. Let's have a look and see what we've got here. So it's great to have you here at Curzon. Meet various people in key roles at the club over the next few days. To start with, I want to give you a quick overview of the club, history and heritage, and a general flavour of the club you're going to lead into a successful new era. So they've only got the one major honour, which was the Northern Premier League title, which was quite some time ago, I would have said, to be quite honest. Um, let's have a look and see what we've got here. Great spell success in the 2010s. An 11-year barren spell, having not won a competition since 2014. So they won the 8th tier for the only time in 2014 and finished runners-up once. Runners-up in the 9th tier for the only time in 2007 and runners-up in the MPL Challenge Cup in 2013. So there's not a great history there. They tend to have plateaued realistically over the last number of years. Hopefully, we can bring some extra success to them as time goes on. Obviously, we've got the attachments that come through. It's very similar to the setup of FM24 in a way that we get all these messages through. It's just a much different layout to how it used to be. And again, as time's gone on with the beta save, I have managed to find ways around different bits and pieces, and we will explore that going forward as well. So we do have the club visions and expectations here. So they just want us to work within the wage budget. It's a very much a required field that and finishing mid-table in the Enterprise, what was the National League North, and favoured to grow the club's reputation. Obviously, naturally, as you progress, the reputation will improve. We will accept that current vision. I think it's going to be quite a tough season, this, to be honest. With a mid-table expectation, I think this could be a very tough start to our managerial career. But again, we'll see how things develop and go from there. So in terms of the tactical side of things, there's a few introductions and everything that needs to be gone through. Likewise with staff responsibilities and the squad introductions, which I will go through off camera in effect, and we'll see how things go from there. There's key personnel involved. We've got a forward by the name of Jimmy Spencer, a couple of midfielders there in Charlie Weston and Ben Darby, and also a veteran in Adam Barton, who I believe has got quite a bit of league experience off the top of my head as well. Be interesting to see if there are actually any players in this squad that I recognise. It's not a team that I've ever been to watch personally. I went for them for this year's Sunday League Champions League purely because of how local they were to where I used to live. And yeah, we'll see what happens from there. So we'll take a look at the squad first and foremost. We've got 19 players in the senior squad, so it's quite a small squad realistically. And everyone, by the looks of it, is contracted to the club as well. So there is actually a contract for every player here. There's no non-contract players. So we've got a solid foundation. There's a number of them that are going to be out of contract at the end of this season. But obviously, we are going to have to really take stock and see exactly what we've got here. We've got 3, 6, 9, 10 players out of contract at the end of this season. I'm willing to give them all an opportunity, to be quite honest. It's going to be an interesting one. Obviously, I don't really know how the finances stack up at the moment. We haven't got into that just yet. But again, we'll see exactly what we're dealing with as we go. So in terms of current ability, we do have some very much standout players. Adam Barton is the first player. By the looks of it, he's quite a decent midfielder for this level. As we go into his career, he's actually been with Curzon Ashton for quite a few seasons, but he has played across a number of different clubs. He has played in Sky Bet League 2 and League 1 previously as well, and in the Championship. I did seem to remember that he played for Preston, which is a long time ago. How I've managed to pluck that out, I'm not too sure. But he's been with the club for 5 years now, so he's been quite a mainstayer in the squad. So he's certainly going to be a player that will probably certainly look to keep around for this season. He knows the club very well, and he's the kind of player that we need to be making use of, despite the fact that he is 34 years of age. I have got to remember, as much as I like to sign young players, the older, more experienced players are going to be vital for this league. Um, so based on that, we've also got Charlie Weston, who is 28 years of age. Again, a decent looking midfield player, really good physicals, to be quite honest, decent fitness and determination, reasonable passer of the ball as well, but he's only 20. So from that perspective, he has got room to grow, and hopefully he will do so. Um, Let's have a look and see what we've got here. So previously he was at Blackburn. He had a couple of spells in this division as well. So he came through at Blackburn, didn't make a game for them. He has played at the level above in the National League for Kidderminster on loan. Made an appearance in League Two with Barrow, and he made 8 appearances for Rochdale last year in the National League. So this is probably the lowest he's been in his career in terms of league quality. But again, a really good pickup, the kind of player that we need to be making use of, and hopefully that we can build this team around. Whether he will like to stay or not, who knows? It's going to be a bit of a clutch situation with him. He is only 20. He is capable of bigger and better things, I would say, based on those attributes. Hopefully, we can keep him around. Jimmy Spencer, the striker that I mentioned previously as well, 111 career goals in 432 career appearances. Realistically, it's an average career, averaging a goal every 4 games. But he has played really well over the course of his career at times. Again, he's spent time in League Two and League One. He's not been a regular goal scorer. His best season came in the Northern Premier League for Farsley, who no longer actually exist. And he spent 5 seasons there. His first season was the best. He came into the Enterprise North with them, and he has been a regular goal scorer. He's had 2 of his best seasons of his career in the last couple of years, with 11 goals and 12 goals respectively in consecutive seasons. So again, at 33 years of age, he's the kind of player that we can make use of. His experience will be invaluable. Again, as we look at the team, we've got older players coming in to these top talents that we have. Chris Stokes is a centre back, quite a good one, I might add as well, looking at that. He's not the quickest at 34 years of age either. And again, he comes with a wealth of experience playing in the Scottish Premier League and Championship. Um, and he played in League Two for a couple of different teams over the last couple of years. So again, he's got good pedigree, and he's the kind of player again that we can really make use of, especially this year. His experience will be invaluable. Jordan Richards coming in as a right back, again, a pretty decent looking player. His actual fitness is actually very, very good. He's not the quickest, but his fitness is good, so he will be able to get up and down that right hand side, which is ideal. And then Jack Stobbs is another one as well. Largely looking like a winger. He's not got particularly good attributes mentally or technically, realistically, but his physicals are quite strong. Um, just going back to Jordan Richards, he has been with Curzon Ashton, again, formerly of Farsley. He's come through for the last 5 years. So, again, he's got good pedigree, largely around the Enterprise Leagues, but the early part of his career at Hartlepool, playing in League Two. So, again, he played regularly then. Another player with good league experience. And then with Jack Stobbs, he's been dotted around the place, tends to get a new club every other season. Again, has had league football in League Two. Came through at Sheffield Wednesday, didn't really make the breakthrough there, but he has had championship experience. Only a few games, but it's still championship experience nonetheless. Had a really good season in League Two with Oldham, playing 30 games, only scoring a couple of goals. And last year on loan at Matlock, he only made 11 appearances. A free transfer coming into the club for this season. It'll be interesting to see how he settles in. And then lastly, with the 3.5 star of current ability, Marcus Posher, another really good centre back. Natural fitness isn't the best, but he is quite He's got quite good jumping reach, which is ideal, really, because he's only 5'11". But his defensive attributes are quite strong, realistically. And hopefully, again, he is actually wanted by Truro at the moment. But he's been at Curzon for quite a few seasons. Again, 5 years. Previously of Clitheroe on loan as well. Sorry, 6 years he's been with Curzon. Um, he's played in the Northern Premier for a few years. Didn't really make it with Bury in League One. And he went to Crewe for a year, didn't make it again in League Two. So around the lower leagues, he's got good experience as well. Again, someone we can make use of. So in terms of the squad size and everything like that, it's average. Even the likes of Sobowale and Tony Weston, decent young players, 3-star of current ability. And as we go down the list, even at 2.5 stars, that 18-year-old Crispin McLean in on loan at the moment. He's on loan from Fleetwood. So again, another league side. Hopefully, again, we can make good use of him and give him some good game time. Certainly looks like he could be a good prospect. And then we've got a few others here. A 2-star current ability, probably won't get used quite as much, but very useful squad players. And they could prove to be very important. The squad is very small with only the 19 players. So we hopefully would look to add to that. In terms of the recruitment side of things, where's the budgets? I always seem to lose out on the budgets. I do sometimes struggle with that. There we go. Recruitment budgets. We have absolutely nothing to spend, no transfer budget, no spare wage budget either. So if we're going to be bringing anybody in, it would be on non-contracts. But we have got some players on quite big money as well. So it could be that we have to make way with some of our better players and try and bring in some younger players that wouldn't quite require as much financially. In terms of our under 18s, have we actually got anybody in there? We do. So a couple of youngsters in there. They're only 1 star of current ability. They're probably not going to make the grade long term. But to be quite honest, as squad fillers, they can come straight into the first team. Um, we will need the bodies in there. And overall, when you're looking at the squad, that's 21-man squad now. I do like the 4-3-3 system with the holding midfield player. Midfield options, central midfield, to be quite honest, we're looking quite good. We've got 6 players in there, including the 2 youngsters that we've just brought in as well. I'm going to be taking everybody off the loan list. There's no way that we can afford to let anybody leave the club at all at the moment. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see exactly how we set things up. We've got enough centre backs to have that 4 at the back anyway, because we've got the wing backs as support there as well. We've got enough options in central midfield, but we have only got the 2 wingers in Jack Stobbs and Brad Holmes. Curran, I suspect, potentially might be able to cover out there, and Crispin McLean can cover on the left-hand side as well. So if we're looking at anything, it's probably going to be a couple of loan deals for a couple of wingers, to be quite honest. I think that way we can set up with that usual 4-3-3 setup that I like to use. We've got 3 strikers there. Joe Rodwell Grant looks pretty decent, to be honest. Good jumping reach, good determination as well. He's a decent dribbler of the ball also, so he might be able to play out wide, incidentally. And Tony Weston, he's a good finisher. Decent composure, very determined character, good pace and natural fitness with a very good work rate. And to be quite honest, when I'm looking at him versus Jimmy Spencer, we might even have to go to a 2 up front system. It could be an interesting one. Like I say, I'm not entirely sure which way around I'm going to go about it at the moment, but Brad Holmes can also play up front, and Alex Curran, who's actually an attacking midfielder, but he has got capabilities to play up front as well. So realistically, we haven't got the wingers, so we might potentially even look at a narrow diamond. Something that I'm not particularly used to, but a narrow diamond could be very much used there. We've got the options up front as well to have the 2 up front, so I think a narrow diamond might well be something that we can make use of. It'll be interesting to see, really. Obviously, in terms of tactical setup and everything like that, where am I? I will find it, I'm sure. Just bear me a second. Tactics, here we go. So we've got to set up with and in possession and out of possession. We're not particularly suited to the gegenpress. We have got some players with good natural fitness, but realistically, we're in non-league. It's not going to be something that we can make use of very easily. Route 1 setup, it it doesn't really go with my mentality of making use of a lot of the possession and such as well. But again, realistically, we're in non-league. It's going to be something that we're going to have to make use of, I think. And again, wing play, yeah, it'd be nice to make use of that as well. We don't have any wingers, so we can't use that at the moment either. Um, so is Route 1 really how we want to go? It just means we're going to bypass a lot of that central midfield, which is where we're going to have the bodies. Soak up pressure, direct and structured counter-attacks. Again, I don't like to use the counter-attacking system. Defensively, you've got to be very solid for that. We do have a couple of good options in there, but again, realistically, we're in non-league. It's going to be something where we're going to realistically have to outscore our opponents. So we'll go for a Route 1 system, I'd say, and we'll see exactly how things set up from there. The 4-3-3 is being recommended, which is a little bit strange to me. I mean, if we set up in that for now, obviously I can move players around a little bit, but I think a diamond formation is how I'm wanting to have a look at. And again, we'll stick with the same formation out of possession as well. I think it might change a little bit when it comes to actually coming back slightly. So obviously the wide players will probably drop back a little bit more and such as well. But again, we haven't got those wide players. So I'll set it up like this for the moment. And I do quite like the way it sets everything up. Obviously, player roles are going to change a little bit as we go on as well. Um, I will be having a look into all this and seeing exactly how we can set up. And then from there, we'll see exactly how we can develop. Set piece wise, we'll get that set up now as well. We do like the near post deliveries. We want the in-swinger, balanced mentality. I don't want to be too defensive or too focused on going forward when it comes to set pieces, even though they're going to be very key to us. I think it's going to be one of those things that we need to be fully aware of how capable we actually are. And we'll just keep everything balanced for the most part, attack that near post, keep that near post covered defensively as well. And from there, hopefully we can get things going quite nicely. Jimmy Spencer, reasonable penalty taker. He will be our number one taker in there. That's absolutely fine. And in terms of the staff side of things, again, I'm going to have a look into all of this off camera. We've got a number of staff already in place. It's likely I will just bring in my own backroom team at this point and try and get the best possible staff that we can. And obviously, in terms of the transfer market, I don't really know how it's going to work, to be honest. It's going to be very interesting. So we'll have to just wait and see on that and hope for the best. Cautious optimism is how I'd go about it. To be quite honest, at the moment, we've got a good start-up squad, a reasonably well-balanced squad. Like I say, we are missing options out wide, but overall, I'm quite happy with the balance of the team. It's not something you can actually look at now. So when you used to be able to set up your team and have a look at the squads when you're looking at the club before you start a save, you can't actually do that now. I did have a look and see if there was a way around it. There isn't. So we've dropped quite lucky. And it'll be interesting to see exactly how we get on. Obviously, you set up and everything, there's not really anything to speak of at the club. And it's going to be a case of building from the ground up with the team, the club as a whole, and myself. Like I said before, no coaching experience, absolutely nothing as a background. We will be meeting the players at some point as well. But overall, I'm quite happy. Having youngsters come in, they'll potentially get some game time. It'll be interesting to see how players do bed themselves in. And yeah, we will wait and see how things go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get through pre-season, get everything set up how we want it, and we will be back on Friday for the next episode, and we'll get the first couple of games of the season put into there and see how the squad shapes up. We'll go through all the transfers. I'll briefly go over the staff side of things as well. And yeah, we are well and truly going to be underway with this year's Sunday League to Champions League. So until Friday, guys, thank you very much for your support. I really appreciate your patience, and I will see you all next time. This is Big Will signing away, and yeah, let's bring it on and see how things go this year.